am I going to need more than one beer for this evening, or do I need a whiskey or something stronger? Because I've got a feeling this could be a big one.
I'd normally start by saying good evening.
It is the evening.
I can't. Well, it is. Okay. Evening, everybody who's decided to tune in. It's a dark day. Those of you watching on YouTube will see that I'm wearing all black to signify the death of England's white ball, whatever it has been, a disgrace. First off, I'm just going to run through what we're going to talk about tonight. This is going to be a much longer episode than the normal 15 minutes. This is probably, through the dissection we're going to take part in, going to be a bit more like a normal length episode, but we'll try not to make it boring. So, has our white ball era of slight dominance already passed? Butler, leader or loser? Mott, too much too soon? Where do we go from here? Who's going to retire and who's going to replace them? Or is it easier to ask who will play in the next one-day World Cup if there is one? And then, my own thoughts. England in this tournament have been completely devoid of a plan, an alternative plan, an ability to adapt with the ball, an ability to adapt with the bat, fight, grit, and character. So, there's a fair bit to get through. No doubt Simon will have plenty of views, as will Eugene, and we look forward to sharing them with you. So, where do we start? Robbo.
I'm going to chip in. I'm just here to mediate between English cricket and Jono and Robbo tonight because, I think what Sri Lanka provided for us tonight was a very, very good all-round performance. Not that England played very badly. They might have, depending on whose opinion you ask for. So, I am looking forward to chatting to you two tonight. But, I'll let you kick off back with Simon.
I was thinking earlier today, I've just said this a second ago, but I was on mute. Not to the same extent Jono was. I asked myself the question, is this England's worst ever World Cup showing? And I was hard to find one that was worse. I was hard pushed to find one that was worse. As we discussed the other day, I think this has been a bit of a throwback to 2015. You look at the selection stuff that we've done before. So, I mean, if we want to go through each one of Jono's individual points, then I'm sure we can. It's not been great.
Talking about throwbacks, you know what this series of England, I know in the preamble prior to us doing the Cricket World Cup dailies, I said, I don't think England are going to make it. You two looked at me like I was a thicko. I just felt...
Sorry about that.
Just felt... Yeah, it's okay. I get that look a lot. I just felt something of the Ashes circa when KP... That whole Ashes series, that's the way I felt with this one-day side. It just didn't feel right. And I think I said it, people getting dropped, people getting replaced, certain people not being picked. Everything just felt so unorganized. England playing their B-side against Ireland. It just felt wrong.
Was that actually their B-side? I mean, or have they decided? Do you reckon they were luring everyone in? Do you reckon that's their side going forward? And they thought, we've got fuck all open this World Cup, so we may as well start them off against Ireland. Rather than just giving them 4 years worth of practice, we'll give them 4 years and 3 months.
I did not expect that, Robbo. Holy shit.
I mean, this could be genius. If somehow Matthew Mott is still in a job in 4 years' time, could that have been his greatest decision?
Right. Well, look, let's start there then. Matthew Mott, too much too soon. Great record with the Australian women's team, which is kind of hard to lose with them. Was the job? Yes, they won the T20 World Cup, but is this too big a job for him?
I'm never going to sit here and call for anyone to get sacked or like that because I don't think that's fair. He's been appointed with a job to do. And whether you feel, you can say a lot of things. The one thing I will say is England have played looking nervous, looking apprehensive, looking like they don't really know what they're supposed to do. And whilst everyone can be put under pressure and put in a situation when that is the case, it's down to the coach and the captain to make people feel like the pressure is lifted from them. And for whatever reason, this England team have looked at all times like they have the weight of the world of responsibility on their shoulders, which couldn't be any different from how the test side has played. It couldn't be any different from how they played 4 years ago. So something's gone wrong somewhere with that. Whose fault that is? I mean, you'd have to, it's the coach and the captain's job to put the players in the best position to perform. And they haven't looked like that. So is he at his depth? I don't know. Is it just the fact that we're an aging side that's coming towards the end of it and it wouldn't matter who the coach was? I don't know. What do you think?
Yes, food for thought. Yes, food for thought. I would argue the same about the Test cricket side at the moment. Are they an aging side? Have they, but yet Baz McCullum gets such an amount out of them, and yet they are one of the best Test sides in Test cricket at the moment.
I think Stokes has a lot to do with that as well, though, doesn't he? Like, Stokes
but he's in the side, right? He's in the 50-over squad.
No.
So,
I agree.
So how's he not influencing that?
Well, one of the other questions I asked was Butler leader or loser? I think we obviously talked to a lot of people about cricket and about what's going on with this England side. There are a lot of people that see, and I've heard Butler referred to as a bit of a wet flannel on a number of occasions. Comes out and he's got the nice voice and this, that, and the other, but he never actually really says anything. It's like that. It's complete chalk and cheese listening to him versus listening to Ben Stokes talk about, how they're proactively going to approach games and go out to win and stuff. It just screams, and we've all talked about this before, 2015. It's just that kind of negative, not having, there's no clear focus or plan as to how they're going to go out and go about it. Like, Huge and I were talking off air before, Robbo, saying we got to, 38 without loss, looking pretty good, balls flying everywhere. Bairstow should have been out first ball of the game, but the Sri Lankans didn't review it. Then Root gets out, and it just seems to throw absolute panic through the entire camp, and then they lose all sense of any kind of whatever they thought they had to begin with. At
the beginning, you mentioned all of the different options. I don't think they went through any of those A to G options when they were batting or bowling, by the way.
Right.
What was the plan? What was the backup plan? What was the iteration of it? But there was one gear, and that's go.
Yeah, I don't think
there wasn't
that. I don't think the reason there has been that as a plan. If that was their plan, they wouldn't have selected David Malan. Like, there seems to have been.
But isn't he our top run scorer in the tournament?
Yes, and that's ironically because when he has batted, he's given himself a chance to get in. Yeah, he got out today, playing a shot that he plays every other ball in one-day cricket. He tries to run that straight ball down to the man. He's nicked it. Yeah, he's going to get out like that. But what seems to have happened, and you say that as soon as Joe Root got out, that installed panic. The way Joe Root got out, he was panicking. He was absolutely petrified. Like, there's something that's gone off there. He smashed it to point and ran. That is,
yeah.
We talked about this at the start of the tournament. The two things for me that show signs that something's wrong in the camp. One is fielding, and England have been poor in the field. The second is communication and running between the wickets. You think about all the sides that we can speak about. You think about, like, go back through times when a side has been poor or January has been a bit broken. Fielding goes to shit, and there will be run-outs. Because and the thing is with that, the two guys running there have played cricket together since they were 10.
Yeah.
They've played every year, every age group, most of the games they've played together. If one of them has been playing, the other one's been playing. So the fact that something is going on between them two, yes, sometimes these things can happen. But that shows that there is something not right behind the scenes. There's a pointer, like you say, for you to have a backup plan, you've got to have a plan. Like, that's plan B comes after plan A. If there is no plan A, then you're pissing in the wind. And I don't think we ever will know. We ever will find out what plan A was. And
I think you're right.
I think Butler was, when Ben Stokes took over from Joe Root as the Test captain, it couldn't have got a lot worse, could it? It was, we've won 1 in 758 Test matches. We got beaten by the West Indies in the Caribbean. Looked like we were atrocious. So for Stokes to walk into that job and go, right, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going to do it, Baz McCullum comes in. Joss Butler completely the opposite end of the spectrum. You've taken over what was at the time comfortably the number one-day side in the world, comfortably. And everyone was saying it's not just us being English that was saying that, other than maybe a few Indian fans, because God forbid Virat Kohli is not the greatest cricketer to ever walk the planet. But everyone was saying that is, people are talking about being one of the best white ball teams of all time. And never mind teams, squads. Joss Butler's come in, and Matthew Mott's come in, and whether they just think that it could have carried on, it was the wheels were just going to keep rolling, that nothing had to change, that we didn't have to assess situations and conditions, I don't know. But something has happened that means the players now look absolutely petrified. You look at how Harry Brook plays, for example. He goes out in the Test side and has got no qualms about it. Even that innings when England got bowled out of the Lords, to the short ball. It was like, right, we're going to learn, we're going to look, we're going to go. There's just been no learning.
Just on that route run out, did you see that the same almost happened to Stokes later on when he was batting with Bairstow, but he just made his ground? Basically to the same fielder as well. You know, it's just, there's obviously something going on that we don't yet know about. Probably, as you say, probably never will know about. Next question then, I guess, on the Baz McCullum thing, do we think had Baz taken over as Test and white ball coach that we would be faced with this situation in this World Cup now?
Yes, I think he still would have. I don't think, maybe, let me rephrase that, maybe. And there's a reason, because like the selection, I haven't got the selection. You know, you've got arguably the best white ball cricketer in Tom Curran in the country at the moment, who's sitting here in England at the moment. And I'm talking based on his performances at Surrey on a flat wicket. I get that. Do you think, and I don't mean to digress and change the topic here, do you think that the wickets that England have been preparing on, they're just used to the Test wickets that they've been playing in here through the summer, which are these flat roads, and they can do absolutely anything they want to the ball? Where today, it was arguably doing a little bit more.
Other sides have scored big runs in this tournament. England haven't.
But that's because they've given themselves time. Yeah, Robbo said it a million times.
But it's interesting what when Robbo's talking about we wouldn't have picked David, like if there's anybody in that squad for me who will allow them to give themselves time, and the only one of our lads who's got 100 is David. I think, you know, we talk about the South Africans and why they've done so well. You know, how many times have we spoken between the three of us on the different nights of doing these World Cup dailies? You watch South Africa, they get to 20 overs. Yes, they've been 2 down once, but a couple of times haven't lost a wicket, but they're about 120. And that is their platform. And then it's like, right, now we go.
Here's a question. Who do you think England's top 2 scorers are?
David Malan.
So we got Malan. Close. No, it's the other slow run scorer, Joe Root. So he's only scored 175. David Malan scored 220. Both of them played 5 games. One averages 44. The other averages 35. That is in the top 25 of this Cricket World Cup. Not the people that smash the ball a million miles.
I'm not saying that David Malan's not played well, nor am I saying the way he plays is wrong. What I've said all the way through is the way he plays is right. However, the way he plays seems to go completely against the apparent plan that England had. And you look at people now on social media, they're saying, and not just on social media, highly respected journalists are still saying now the one person we need to change in the batting order is David Malan, because it will then give Joe Root, it would then give Johnny Bairstow the chance to get himself in, rather than like had Jason Roy go in early doors or Phil Salt, and I'm standing there going, I respect every single person that the commentary teams and the people who are reporting on this World Cup, fantastically knowledgeable people. However, sometimes I will stand there and think, are they watching this tournament? Are they watching? Yes, it's all well and good to see how a person normally plays. Yeah, the fact that Rohit Sharma's number 1, Klaasen's up there as a leading run scorer, De Kock's up there as a leading run scorer. It's how they normally play. However, they haven't played like that in this tournament. So you can't just stand and say, I think the way David Malan has played is the right way to go about it. I think if David Malan keeps playing and you look at our 5, 6, me and John, you did it last night. Who do you want coming in at 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7? If England, if an opposition, if 4, 5, 6, 7 are coming in after 30 overs with that England side, Stokes, Butler, Livingston, Ali, I'm sorry, but yes, you would say on the
Huge
basis
runs.
of this tournament, there's probably Class and Maxwell in this tournament. Miller's not really done massive amounts of tournament, he's done bits. But then the guy from New Zealand who bats in the middle order, who every time I forget his name, Mitchell.
Oh, Daryl Mitchell, yeah.
Like, yes, you'd probably say, but you're telling me that you wouldn't want them at 4, 5, 6, and 7 in a World 11 normally? Come on. Like, yes, they've not been informed, but they've not been informed because they've been coming in after 8 overs.
Yeah.
How much then do we think that something that, we're all agreeing that we think there's something going on behind the scenes? There's some unrest or something. Something's happened. What could that be? I know we're hypothesizing, but is it a bad egg in the camp? Is it internal arguments? Is it, people not being happy with the coach? Is it people not being happy with selection? Is it people being not happy with the squad? It could be any of those things, right?
Yeah, I think there seems to be a level of confusion. And I'm not saying I don't think there is a bad egg, because I think this squad has proven that they are as together as it gets. Again, when you one of the things you mentioned was like in a chat today earlier, do it look like they care? Like, these guys care. They're professional sportsmen who want to be the best in the world. They care, and they want to get there. My question is, is there something within that environment, whether that be there's something happening or there's something not being put right? So, and I don't necessarily think it's an individual. I think it's just the fact that there's been a change. These guys have got older, and nothing has proactively been done to try and adapt. At the end of the day, that's as much on the players as it is the coaching staff, as it is the management, as it is everything else. You can't sit here and praise the players for the test side and how they've changed things around and all this kind of stuff, but then not say it's partly on the players when things don't change, when things don't develop. So
I don't think it's through lack of ability, though, Robbo. I think all of these players.
I don't think it is at all.
And maybe we're answering the question by asking that and saying that is, maybe it is, as Jono said, a lack of direction and a lack of rudder from the coaching staff and the captain. I mean, is maybe Joss Butler not inspirational enough, and doesn't he fire up the lads as much as he should have, as maybe Ben Stokes does and Baz McCullum do, compared to Matthew Mott and Joss Butler? I'll put it this way. I've got an opinion, and this is Eugene's opinion. I don't think Matthew Mott's going to last post World Cup. I think somebody else is going to come in. I just think he's not the right man for the English job. I don't think he's done very well since he's come in. And again, that's going on gut feeling instead of statistics. You could pull up his stats and go, do you know what? He's only lost 2 games in the past, but they seem very, very undercooked for this World Cup. The lack of preparation is done.
Is Owen Morgan going to give up his cushy Sky job to step into that breach?
I think his name will definitely be on a list at the minute. Like, obviously, there's a lot of other things that are going to go into that. Is it very soon? I mean, is he doing exactly? If he was to come into the coaching job, if he wants it, if the terms are right, he's got a young family, everything else. At the end of the day, he's a bloke in his late 30s who has got a lot of the world at his feet in terms of a commentary gig and a family and stuff that he's trying to manage. So there's a lot to go into this decision. However, this is basically him taking over a side at exactly the same point as a coach. He took over as captain 8 years ago. So
he's done the interview already.
Yeah, whether he's, and for the last 2 to 3 years of that, you could argue he was basically coaching them anyway, because he's playing. Well, yeah, he showed up for a game here and there and whatever, but he was the guy running it he was kind of like a non-playing captain almost. He was, he was the first one to drop down the batting order. He was the first one to move himself around. He was the first one taking himself out the firing line. That's not meant in a negative way. That's meant in a terms of pushing someone else into a job to give them the chance. because he knew that he should be able to turn it on as and when it counts, as we saw in multiple games when he did that. I think he'd be favourite if he wants it.
Why would Baz McCullum not take on the one-day job? Is it
Why
maybe
did
he
not
doesn't
take it
want
on
to?
when it first came on?
Family. I think family commitment. It's just not wanting to be away from family for
To do both. Yeah, makes sense.
all year, basically, which I agree with. If we'll come back to the Morgan thing. I think I agree. I think if he wants it, the job will be his. Look, but we know that English cricket is a funny thing. You know, I wouldn't be surprised whether we think it's the right or the wrong thing for Matthew Mott to remain in his job. I personally think, you see it in football all the time, don't you? The buck stops with the manager. And I think that in this case, as much as I like Joss Butler as a player, I think that maybe the captaincy is weighing too heavily on him. And I'm not sure that, when I wrote the question about Matthew Mott too much too soon, I think that's probably my opinion on him, is that it is too much too soon. Just going through the squad now and their ages, right? So, as in who's going to be around for the next World Cup. And I think there's probably 3, maybe 4. Butler is 33, Ali 36, Atkinson 25, Bairstow 34, Brook 24, Curran 25, Livingston 30, Malan 36, Rashid 35, Root 32, Stokes 32, Topley 29, Willie 33, Wood 33, Wokes 34. So if we go through them one by one, Butler, no.
How about Butler 33?
33. He'll be 37. It's not going to happen.
I don't know. I could narrow it down easy. I think that older than 33, no chance.
Stokes has retired once. He's not going to do it again, even though he's 32.
No, Stokes no chance. But I think in general, 33 plus got a chance, especially with the likes of Root.
32.
Yeah, I think if they want it. The thing is with Root as well, with the 50 over stuff, if it does happen, Root's not really getting the T20 gigs he did. He's not that type of player. So, is he going to... I mean, he might get a job in the commentary box somewhere for all we know. Who knows? So, but I think he's got a sniff. I think the 32-year-olds have got a good chance other than Stokes.
How many of the 32s were there?
Willie...
He doesn't even have a white ball contract. Well, he doesn't have any contract, Willie. Why would he get another gig?
Yeah, Root and Stokes. So Willie's 33... He'll be bowlers 30.
I don't think the bowlers. I think the batters that are 33 and stuff.
Willie Wood and Wokes, 2 are 33, 1's 34. Reece Topley 29. Unfortunately, made of glass. Rashid 35. No. Malan 36. No. Livingston 30. Possibly. Curran and Brook, you'd say, would be around at 24 and 25 and 24 respectively. Bairstow 34. No. Atkinson 25. Yes. Ali 36. No. Butler 33.
No,
probably.
I don't think he'll be playing one-day cricket. I think he'll probably play T20 cricket.
But who replaces them? I mean, it's interesting that you said earlier about Robert about the side that played against Ireland. Is that the next England team?
Yeah, it is, and they openly admitted that before. You had Zach Crawley saying, "Yeah, we want this to be our aim is to make sure this is the 2027 World Cup squad." So, yes, it is. Is there going to be someone that comes into it, a dasher, someone that's 16 now that polls up at 20 in 4 years' time? Probably, possibly. Riyad Ahmed, something like that. Obviously, I mean, he could. Looking at it, you're surprised he's not got picked for this one, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was the kind of next squad they're looking at.
Curran's probably 28, 29 now. He will certainly be.
Should have been there.
Of age.
He'd be in the mix, you'd say. I just, back to you, I don't like the idea of we're getting into this football mentality of someone's been in the job for 12 months, 14 months, and that's it, he's done. While it looks like there's been some flawed decision-making, I think whether he's given a chance, I don't think he will be, but part of me thinks he possibly should be. He has proven that he can coach winning teams. He has proven he can make players who are under pressure play to the best of their ability. He did that week in, week out. At the end of the day, that Australia team were always under pressure to perform. They were always favourites. And him as coach, again, we don't know what roles other people have been in that. Got them there. There just seems to be with this squad at the minute something that's not working. So I wouldn't be adverse to him having another 4 years or whatever. I don't think he'll get it, but I wouldn't personally be adverse to it. And then, yeah, you look. I mean, we've got some talented young cricketers coming through. The fact that Harry Brook's not been the one that gets left out, incredibly talented cricketer. Phil Salt. You look at these guys that have potentially made it. Will Jacks. You've got guys that have got talent. Sam Hain. These guys are ridiculously talented cricketers. I mean, Ben Duckett is one that played in that. I nearly said Will Jefferson, and that would have been a blast from the past, but I mean the other lanky opening batter, Zach Crawley. He's clearly a talented cricketer.
Yeah. You know, we sort of, you know, I totally get we're talking about the flaws of England, yeah, but we do need to raise a little bit about talk a little bit about the Sri Lankan performance. I mean, how good were they with the ball? You know, I mean, first of all, you're talking about aged cricketers. Angela Matthews rolling out at 2022. That's his age, not the year. And then playing as well as he did.
He's late if it was.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't actually played one-day cricket for Sri Lanka since 2020.
Yeah,
he just always he loves playing against England. He's got a brilliant record against England, and he's still a hell of a cricketer.
Be a good club pro, wouldn't he?
Oh my word!
Would you sign him? I mean, if he rocked up and was doing a job working on the London Underground news, would you say, yeah, come and play for Twickenham? I know you're not allowed to pay anyone.
100%. I mean, 5 overs, would you have him in? 2 for 14. 5 overs, 2 for 14 every day of the week.
I don't reckon he'd manage it on the green though. On the green and get packed.
He'd be deadly on the green.
He wouldn't because it's never green.
No, it's Twickenham Brown. But yeah, I mean, then I mean, the batsmen did really well too. Look, you know, Nasanka Samarawickrama. Yep, him. He also batted very well. You can't pronounce Petlaquai. I can't pronounce that, so we're all good. Yeah. But yeah, those two were very, very good. Yeah,
we can't pronounce a lot more names than just Petlaquai.
Yeah, I mean, England gave themselves a chance. You know, 2 early doors looked like they might be able to fight back, and then you know those two just literally stubbed the game out. I mean, 25 overs, game done.
It is a bowl we get man of the match as well.
Absolute hiding that they've given England. Very in completely the opposite way that South Africa gave us a hiding. And I think that's what makes this one even more demoralising is all the mistakes that England made against South Africa, winning the toss, choosing to bowl first, not selecting enough bowlers. Like, the bowlers you did select are made of glass. Like, reduce the amount of batting. You thought this game, oh yeah, they've gone back to it. I feel a bit sorry for David Willey at times because he just seems to be the person that when the shit's hit the fan, they go, "ER mate,
yeah, you have a go.
You have a go." A bit like Johnny Bairstow used to be. Like we'll find a bit for you, and he keeps rocking up, and never ever really lets anyone down. Like yes, he's potentially a little bit limited with the ball, but if you're going to say if part of me someone was going to ask me, he's going to be batting at number 8 all tournament. You go, yeah, sound. Like, that's a decent number 8. But yeah, the fact that we tried to remedy the South Africa defeat by batting first. I know we'll set a score. We can dominate this Sri Lankan bowling attack. Not so much.
I mean, you said a score. You said a score.
Yes.
It was
we
just
got bowled
maybe
out. We got bowled out by Jono Matthews, trucking in them little med wobblers.
Don't start coming about me about being slightly overweight.
I wasn't. I've compared you to a professional athlete, Jono.
Trucking. He is not an athlete.
Trucking in.
No, trucking suggests something else entirely. And I'm not going to have an argument with you tonight, but leave it out.
Right. So I do have one question. He did. John bowled very well. Just quickly focusing shortly on Superbru from the previous round. Womble Wello and Anthony Gayden. Yeah, please wait your turn, sir. Unfortunately, Smudger was the wooden spoon holder. Now, there has been a heinous crime to the highest order, Your Honour.
Is that the same as a heinous crime?
Yeah, heinous. Yes, it's the same as
crime.
Yeah.
Hyenas involved in a heinous crime.
Yeah, it's an African hyenas crime.
Hyenas.
I mean,
crime is there.
I hate to know what a heinous crime is in Africa because literally anything goes there. There's no crime off
There were 2 members of our 52 large group on Superbru that chose Sri Lanka to win today. The first is a very good friend of ours, Greg Nielsen. The second is one of the hosts, who is currently doing all sorts of fist pumps here, Mr. Simon Roberts. Simon, talk us through this.
Well, I know what I'm on about, don't I? I mean,
I know what I'm on about. Well,
the only thing I got wrong was the margin of defeat.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't. It wasn't big enough, was it? Yeah, you did. You did.
Which was I thought England were going to get 210. That was going to be the issue.
I see. You are now in 33rd, so you have risen highly up the ranks by 3 places to 33rd. So well played.
I did have a terrible round 2 or round 3, whichever one the last one was.
Round 3 was the last one. Yeah.
Shocking.
I think there's about 12 rounds in Superbru, right?
I mean, God, I can't.
6, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I heard Alistair Cook on the radio talking today about the length of the tournament. And if Alistair Cook, the man that has faced more balls in cricket than any other human being, is saying that a tournament's long, it's probably long.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is insane. The fact that we're just over halfway through the group games. We're 9 months into this tournament. I mean, the Netherlands started this tournament in June 2022.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, this is bonkers.
Hang on, so did South Africa. South Africa had to qualify too, by the way.
To be fair, that was when the West Indies tournament finished. And to be fair, England will be out of the 2027 World Cup by 2024. So there'll be no change there. No.
Yeah.
But it is a very, very long tour.
Yeah, yeah. Go on, Jonah, close us off.
Don't know what to say, really, other than it's the hope that kills you.
Good night.
It don't kill you. You don't think you've got it.
No. I mean, look,
Go on.
I think every England fan was thinking, do you know what? There's somehow we'll come out, we'll have a real good result today. We'll beat India, we'll dick the Aussies, and then we'll beat Pakistan, the Netherlands, and Pakistan, or whoever it is. I can't remember who else we got to play. But you were just let down again. You know, it's a shame. It's something that as English sports fans we're kind of used to, and we just have to suck it up and you know, pray that it gets better next time. So you know, the fallout will be what the fallout will be. We certainly won't know anything until after the tournament, and probably a little while after that, you would expect. But yeah, just a shame, a dark day. But
I've got a couple of yes/no questions for you.
Oh, go on.
Do England now beat Australia and India?
No.
Yes.
This next one isn't a yes/no question. Who is your tournament?
There's a reason I said yes, because South Africa need to make sure they get into the semis.
I think they're in, mate. I mean, that was going to be another slightly longer-winded question. Do you think the top 4 is now done?
So Eugene and I went through this earlier, looked at all the remaining games for the current top 4. I have got New Zealand to get another 4 points, South Africa to get 6, Australia to get 8, and India to get 8. I can't see India losing a game in the entire tournament, which would then pitch India against New Zealand and Australia and South Africa against each other. So I think it's India beat New Zealand in the semi, and then I think it's a toss-up between the other two. So I think it'd be in India versus Australia or South Africa final, which is a bit different from what I said last night. But
hashtag maths. We've done the calculations.
Yeah, we've actually done a bit more calculation than my just hodgepodge last night. Yeah,
I think so.
The only reason we did the
India
hodgepodge is I was worried about that South Africa were playing against India, and I was like, well, that's not going to happen. We need to finish somewhere else that doesn't play India.
I think India have got a shocker in them.
Hopefully it's a semi-final, right?
Well,
Robbo said last night New Zealand are going to win the entire thing. So,
there you go. That might be the shocker.
I think in a one-off game, and I hope the semi-finals aren't like the games that they've been for the rest of it. I honestly now I think with the way the group games are, they're not going to be close. My only hope for this World Cup is that the last week is interesting. Because other than England being an absolute shambles and some of the middle order batting / India's top order, this has been comfortably the worst World Cup to watch I've ever watched. And that includes 2015 when watching England was like having someone pull ball bearings
Gouge
out
your
my
eyes
foreskin. Like,
So unfortunately, Rob, I've got bad news for you. I've done the look at it. So South Africa, Pakistan, Australia, New Zealand, India. This is their last game. South Africa play Afghanistan last. Pakistan play England. That will be a half decent game. Australia play Bangladesh. New Zealand play Sri Lanka, and India play the Netherlands. I mean, besides Pakistan, England, the rest of them, you'd argue, should be relatively straightforward games. So I think results will be done by
So
then.
what we've decided is you pair are doing this podcast for the next 2 weeks, and I'll come back in for the semi-final.
I mean, I have got some catching up to do.
But yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but your team are doing well. You play Pakistan tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be a cracking game. That I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, like all the rest.
I am worried though. I think we might lose that one. But yeah, it's just
The only hope that you've got, the only hope Pakistan have got is that their seam attack decide to rock up.
No, I've predicted that you're going to win, so there's every chance you might lose.
Right, this is why I kept saying. I actually got a text message from one of the loyal listeners to the podcast, Adrian Dawson, who said, "Unfortunately, the Boks have lost." I mean, why? It says Jono supporting them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, Dawes. Yeah, Christ, I forgot about Dawes. I also love New Zealand. I'm very much a
fence sitter.
A fence sitter for the World Cup final on Saturday. Yeah, I will be, as long as it's a good game of rugby and enjoyable to watch. I really don't mind who wins. Sorry,
it's pissing down with rain. It's not going to be a good game of rugby.
No, we're not. And South Africa haven't picked a back
because it's pissing down with rain.
Have you seen the
we
squad?
Have picked one back.
Not that we're experts on rugby, but they've picked. They've done a 6-1 split. 6 forwards, 1 back.
Yeah. Actually, it's 7-1. But yeah.
7-1 split. Imagine being that
We've got
forward
one
that has to stay on. He's just looking over going, hang on a minute.
What do you mean? If somebody breaks down in the backs, sorry. If 2 people break down in the backs, a forward's in the back line. Think about that.
When you've just done 80 minutes, when you're 70 minutes in, think you're getting subbed off.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're into the back line now. Off you go.
Go on.
Yeah. Go and take on.
Go on, Eben Estebets. Get yourself on that wing, Captain.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Right. Gentlemen, I feel like I'm really contributing. I've just been sitting here miserable for most of the last 40 minutes. Said a lot.
People will be able to see that on YouTube, Jono, which is good. I'm quite liking the new YouTube channel that we've got going on. By the way, if you haven't figured this out, we've moved to YouTube because Google Podcasts is going to be dying a death. It's something that's been discontinued. So yeah, go and check us out on YouTube podcasts.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, you can do that.
Jono has absolutely no interest in anything right now.
I just want today to be over. But yes, gentlemen, it's nice to be back, all 3 of us. Just a shame about the circumstances in which it's arrived. Tomorrow,
I'm okay.
Perfect. Tomorrow will be, I imagine, myself and Eugene, because I was with Robbo last night. And so, yeah, hopefully we'll all be a bit, well, Robbo and I will be a bit upbeat next time you hear from us.
We'll be pissed on Saturday.
And we will be pissed on Saturday.
I am definitely doing tomorrow because Saturday, different conversation.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
I'm going Australia and New Zealand finishing.
Yeah, I'm going for breakfast beers on Saturday.
Oh, dear me. Right. Well,
just don't bother. Just carry it. Just bat through from Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of love. Thank you for joining us again. And Eugene and I will be with you again tomorrow.
Goodbye.